Utilities are funny. So I have an inside guy, I have an inside guru, but I can't use his name. I can't even say where I got it from. But fairly confident on our utility forecast. So we talked to our insider. And so we've got hydro, BC rates will continue to increase, forecasted 3% increase. This isn't official, but this is what we're expecting. And when I talk to a couple people in the industry, they are saying that, yeah, expect 3% overall for hydro. Natural gas has been flat for quite a while. We had that Enbridge, which is that pipeline that may have an impact. Speaking to the people, they said that a lot of the residential gases are actually pre-purchased, so the Enbridge incident might not actually impact residential rates, but overall an expected increase of 2% for natural gas is expected in 2019. District energy. So this is where the municipality or some entity provides power to the building. So this would be like the district NEU in Vancouver, Lonsdale Energy Corp in North Vancouver. SFU's got a project that actually they're just launching a new plant. Lulu Island in Richmond. And where this is instead of a building, so in a traditional building, let's call it, you would have, I'm going to use a tower because it's simple, for instance. You'd have a concrete tower, and you would have a boiler in either on the roof or the basement, and that would heat hot water, and that hot water would get pumped to your unit. You'd open up the tap, and out would come some hot water. You would also have a makeup air unit, which is like a big fan that blows fresh air into the hallways, and also preheats, so it heats a bit of that air in the winter so that you don't have freezing cold air in the hallways. And so those would run on natural gas for the most part, and then you would have electric baseboard in your home where you would turn on and it would heat your home, and you would pay for that hydro consumption through your own hydro bill, and the STRATA would pay for the natural gas used for the boiler and for the makeup air unit. So the wanting to be more energy efficient, a lot of the municipalities, which are like the cities, have said, hey, we're going to get into this business, and they're mandating new projects be hooked up to district energy. And so district energy is where you've got a big plant somewhere that makes heat some way. I would say 90% of them make it through natural gas, so these massive boilers, and then they pump that hot water underground through insulated pipes to the building. The building has a heat exchanger and takes that heat away from the city, and there's a BTU meter, so they pay for it. They use that heat instead then to heat the hallways. They use that heat instead to heat your hot water, and a lot of times they use that heat to heat the units as well. And the STRATA Corporation pays for all those costs, so you wouldn't in those cases pay for the heating in your units. Typically, there's metering and all kinds of different subcategories, but that's typically what district energy is. The advantage of district energy is that the government's involved. And also that it is can be more green in the future. So when you think about NEU, which is the one in Vancouver, they actually take the heat out of the sewage water and then they use it to heat homes. It's pretty cool, right? That's a neat idea. Most of them are trying to get there, municipalities are trying to get there, but a lot of them still use natural gas, and they use them in like these containers, these shipping containers that have these massive boilers crammed into them. And so they charge. So the city is building this infrastructure, most cities are building this infrastructure, and they base it, because it's based off of gas, they are setting their rates now, because it's coming to the end of the calendar year, and so we're expecting their rates to be in about a 4% range. Richmond just sent their rates, and it is 4%, and then there's a couple other proposed pricing, but we're seeing them all around 4%. So if you have district energy in your STRATA Corporation, we would say budget for 4%. If you have natural gas or if it's hydro-based, again, you can see it's 2 or 3. Finally, water and sewer. Water and sewer is overseen by the Metro Vancouver, and there's a range. It depends on which municipality area you're in, but rates are going to go up 3.8 to 6.5% for water and sewer if you pay it. If you live in the lovely city of Burnaby, it's included in your taxes, so you don't have to do it in your STRATA budget, which is awesome. But if you're in New West or if you're in Vancouver, for instance, then you would have to pay the water and sewer, and you can expect that to go up. There are some programs, if you're an older STRATA corporation and you're not metered, meaning you're just paying a flat fee, some municipalities have a program where if you move over to the meter, you actually pay a lower rate. So if you're an old building and you're paying a flat fee, it's something to explore, is maybe we can move over to a meter and we can pay less overall. And then you can buy everybody more cost-effective, like low-flow toilets or something to keep your water consumption down. Okay, that was a lot, wasn't it?
You know what, actually, sorry, Sean, just before we move back, I'm backing up. So just one comment on the utilities. If your strata corporation has, let's call it small utility bills, it doesn't make up a large portion of the total expenses, using the projected increase, historical increase by this projected increase is likely sufficient. If your utility bills are significant or big, it always helps to be a little more conservative with those pieces, because the actual volume, the volume used is unpredictable. So if it's a lot spent on utility bills, it's good to be a little more, I would even be a little more conservative than the general rate increase. But
Be more conservative.
more conservative. Only if it's a big utility bill.
Okay.
Or a new strata corporation.
Yeah, it makes sense, because if you're out by a percent,
That's right.
and it's 40 units, it's not going to be significant, but
not
if you're 400 units, it's probably going to be
Yeah.
more. Okay.